Hey everyone, we all want our money to work for us, right? But turning that hope into a concrete strategy, well, that can feel completely overwhelming. Today, we're going to cut through all that confusion and build a clear, powerful plan. Let's jump in.
So, let me just ask you this. Are you investing without a plan? Be honest, it's a super common situation. You buy a stock you heard about, maybe you jump into a fund a friend mentioned. There's plenty of action for sure, but is there any real direction?
And that's the real kicker, isn't it? What could go wrong? Well, without a roadmap, it is so easy to get lost. You might make emotional decisions when the market dips, or you start chasing risky trends, and you just end up with this, random collection of assets that doesn't actually match your goals.
But that's what we're here to fix. In this explainer, we're going to walk through a 5-step journey to create your own framework. We'll start by defining what this blueprint even is. Then we'll set our objectives and constraints. After that, we'll uncover the guiding principle behind the strategy, craft the actual asset mix, and finally, learn how to justify every single decision you make. All right, first up, let's define our core tool, which is the investment blueprint. At its heart, what we're really talking about is something called an investment policy statement, or IPS for short.
So what is it? Put simply, an IPS is a document that establishes the ground rules for your portfolio. It clearly lays out your goals and the specific strategies you're going to use to meet them. You can almost think of it as a formal contract you make with your own financial future.
Honestly, this is the easiest way to think about it. An IPS is like the constitution for your portfolio. It's the foundational document you turn to when the markets get chaotic. It's what keeps you disciplined and prevents you from making rash decisions based on fear or hype.
Okay, with that foundation in place, we can now move on to defining our objectives and constraints. This part is all about setting your goals and the guardrails that are going to keep you on track.
This really breaks down into two sides of the same coin. On one side, you've got your objectives. What do you want your money to do? Are you aiming for aggressive growth because retirement is 30 years away, or do you need steady income right now? On the other side, you have your constraints. These are the rules you simply can't break. This includes things like your time horizon, your liquidity needs, or even ethical lines you won't cross.
So you've got your goals and your rules, but how do you actually build the strategy? Well, that brings us right to section 3, the guiding principle. And let me tell you, this isn't guesswork. It's based on a really well-established financial theory. That theory is called Modern Portfolio Theory, or MPT. Its core idea is surprisingly simple. It's all about finding the sweet spot. The goal is to maximize your potential return for a level of risk you're comfortable with, or, if you put it another way, to minimize risk for a certain return target. It's all about building the most efficient portfolio possible. MTT really boils down to 3 key ideas. First, and it's the one we all know, diversify. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Second, you have to understand that risk and return are related. You generally can't get more of one without taking on more of the other. And finally, you have to view your portfolio as a whole. This means you stop trying to pick individual winners, and instead you focus on how all your investments work together as a team.
Okay, theory is great, but what does it look like in the real world? Let's get practical in section 4, crafting your asset mix. This is where the blueprint really starts to look like an actual portfolio.
We start with our core asset allocation. This is your long-term strategic target. It's your North Star. For example, a really common mix is 60% stocks and 40% bonds. This is the ideal balance that you're always aiming for, and it's based on your unique objectives and constraints. But, the world isn't static, and your portfolio shouldn't be either. That's where tactical allocation ranges come in. They allow for controlled flexibility. For instance, if you believe stocks are temporarily undervalued, your IPS might allow you to overweight them up to 65% without completely abandoning your core strategy. See? It's a controlled, strategic adjustment, not just random market timing.
Finally, we come to the last and maybe the most important part. Section 5, justifying your strategy. A plan is only good if you can prove it's the right plan for you.
There's a saying that's perfect here. A recommendation is only as strong as its justification. Every single decision in your portfolio needs a why. Why 60% in stocks? Why these specific funds? The IPS forces you to answer these questions with logic and data, not just a gut feeling. And that justification follows a clear, logical process. First, you state your recommendation. Then, you support it with data, perhaps using tools like Monte Carlo simulations that can model thousands of potential outcomes. Then, you connect your reasoning back to the guiding theory, MPT. And most importantly, you link the recommendation directly back to your own original objectives.
See how it all comes full circle?
The investment policy statement isn't just a document you create and then forget about. It's a living blueprint that ensures every single action you take is deliberate, disciplined, and directly serves your ultimate financial goals.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. Your money absolutely has a future. The only question is, does it have a plan? Thanks for watching.